So begins the end for Darkseid.
I've never seen a being this strong. Maybe one. He's back.
I spent a lot of time trying to divide us. I made a promise to him on his grave. I need to bring us together. There are enemies coming from far away.
They serve an old power.
This world is divided. No protectors here. No lanterns. No Kryptonium. It will fall in his name. I have turned worlds to dust. All of existence shall be mine.
I have a second chance. I am not gonna waste it.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
Fighting the devil and his army. You know, I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us united.
It's time to stand. Fight. The time is now.
Video on the Zack Snyder Justice League. So we're going to break down the movie, non-spoilers, then talk spoilers, talk about absolutely everything, but there will be a spoiler warning when we go from non-spoilers to full spoilers to end and explain, because I don't think there is any point in me dropping a non-spoiler review, because then I feel restricted, I feel non-transparent with you guys. I want you guys to know everything, and if you click in the video, it's your own fault. I'm not going to put anything in the title or thumbnail to ruin anything that hasn't been shown in the trailers, including the trailer that was released yesterday. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? WarStew here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. Check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see what the face behind the voice looks like. I try to interact with everyone that sends me DMs and stuff like that. So if you want to engage with me, check us out on Instagram or check us out on Twitter. WarStewG. I call myself a Knightmare on there. So let's get into the video. So this movie is what can be described and what is being described as a masterpiece. I would class this as one of Zack Snyder's and Deborah Snyder's, etc. greatest work ever. For me, it's a masterpiece. And no, I'm literally not overhyping this movie. What makes this movie so great and so fantastic is every bit conjuncturally makes sense. From the start of the movie, it leaves off from BVS. You see a little bit of BVS kind of, but we're not spoiling things at the moment. So every part of this movie makes sense. It's not chopping and cropping and starting with some random Henry Cavill Superman CGI'd out mustache on a mobile phone. This movie starts off straight away in the first 30 seconds to a minute. It hits you in the feels. The cinematography, the score from Junkie X helps set the tone of the scenes. The music is very important to this movie. It almost changes the atmosphere. I recommend you listen to it with headphones on. It's so much better with headphones on. So this story is essentially very similar to the original story back in 2017. As you know, Steppenwolf is coming for the mother boxes. He gets the mother boxes, and essentially Justice League have to take him out. Bruce form the League, etc. Realistically, a lot of the conjunctural story is the same, but there is so much more added on, which is spoiler territory. And there's so many little scenes that was similar to the original scene, but they've been changed in the way that it makes the movie feel like a very different movie. It is a very different movie. It's a 4-hour movie, 4 hours and 2 minutes exactly. But what is interesting about this is it keeps going and going. You get 3 hours in, you get right to the end, and you're screaming because you want more. Every bit of this movie, you want more. Even the Thamaskora part at the start of the movie makes much more sense. Even the arrow that is shot shot from Hippotola to warn Diana that their threat is coming, and the threat is... It all just makes so much more sense. Every character in this movie is so much better. Wonder Woman is more of a badass. Cyborg gets so much more of a role. It's emotional. It's heartfelt. Give us a Cyborg solo movie. That's how good Cyborg Ray Fisher is in this movie. Even Jason Momoa has a better story-driven role. Even the Flash Barry Allen, we didn't even get any character development in the previous variants of this movie, but every single character in this movie has more of a role because we've got the backstory, we've got the side story, we've got all these little stories and little details, and it's shot and shown in such a different way that, yeah, parts of this movie are the same as the original movie, but Zack did shoot the original movie to start off with, then Sweden came in and reshot a bunch of, well, reshot the whole movie. So yes, some scenes are the same as you've probably seen in the final trailer, but Zack shot them scenes, but they're shown differently. They mean so much differently. It's shown off differently. Like, there's some really cool scenes in this movie that are the same scenes as the original movie, but because they're done, and because the dialogue is different, and because it's shot differently, and because it sounds differently, and because the score's differently, everything in this movie is differently. I'm not even trying to sell this to you guys. This is a movie you have to watch if you are a fan of DC as a whole. It is such a cool movie. So, one of the biggest criticism of the original movie was Steppenwolf wasn't a villain. He wasn't a threat. Well, this movie surely changes this. Steppenwolf is somewhat likable. You will like Steppenwolf in this movie compared to the original movie because the motivations are there, the backstory's there, the reason of why he's doing what he's doing is there. Even with Darkseid, Darkseid has a backstory. You'll find out why Darkseid's doing what he's doing. You'll find out his history part, which explains a lot of the story going forward. What is interesting about this movie is it introduces the gods, the other gods, alongside Darkseid. Obviously, there's Darkseid, there's Granny Goodness, there's also the Sid, and there's also Uax, but for some reason in this movie, they don't call him Uax, they call him Darkseid, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. So this movie introduces the new gods, it introduces other characters that you haven't seen before. If you're a non-DC fan, you might not know who some of these characters are, but it is interesting how and why these characters do appear, and also there are questions that are left unanswered for potential things in the future without giving things away, so it will be interesting to see how the internet reacts to this once this is out officially for the public. Now, what I really love about this movie is the overall message that Zack Snyder is trying to deliver with this movie is to be kind, and you always need help. Without the help of all the Justice League members, without Cyborg, without the Flash, without Wonder Woman, without Aquaman, without Batman, and without Superman, they would stand no chance against Steppenwolf or even the other gods. So it teaches you a lesson. Just be kind, and maybe good things could happen. And the overall message for me of at least the Zack Snyder's movie, and I can't wait for you guys to let me know what you think, what you've seen once you've seen the movie, is did you get the message that it's like, be kind and always do your best, always try to do your best? I think is the message that Zack Snyder is trying to portray within inside this movie. So let's get into spoilers. Careful for spoilers, you're about to be ruined. Well, no, because I want to talk spoilers, so let's talk spoilers. So there is heartache in this movie, there is tragedy. As we know, the Flash's father Henry Allen is in prison for a death he did not do. He did not kill his mother Nora Allen. If this is going by DC Comics logic, then it was Ebar Thorne reverse Flash. And throughout the movie, he's still in prison, but right towards the end, Barry Allen finally gets a job, which is pretty cool. So there's heartache for Cyborg. Cyborg's character is so freaking cool, and I'm not even really a Cyborg fan apart from Teen Titans, but yeah, his role is so cool. He is the pinnacle part. He is the conjunctional part. He is the strongest Justice League member. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Superman. But what's interesting is his father dies, obviously, and it crushes him. There's a line in the movie where we see his mother and his father both dead, and he's like, I'm not broken. I'm not broken. And he comes back with a redemption arc. And he is a very powerful being within this movie. He's pinnacle for the storyline with the mother boxes. He essentially has to merge with the mother boxes at one point. And it is really freaking cool, guys. I really, really can't wait for you to see this movie. So the fight with Steppenwolf is so badass. Wonder Woman goes one-on-one with Steppenwolf in the most glorious, savage way possible. It's so much better, but the way it ends is freaking cool. It really is. So as we know, Superman returns. He pretty much, let's be honest, guys, he pretty much returns the same way. The fight goes down the same way. Some shots are seen differently, but it's the way that Steppenwolf's head gets chopped off, and then it goes back to Darkseid, and Darkseid just stamps on it, which is hilarious. So you're thinking, The Justice League defeat Steppenwolf. The mother boxes are gone. It's all over. But no, this isn't what Darkseid was after. Darkseid was actually after the anti-life equation, so he can control everything just by using the anti-life equation. So they've discovered that the anti-life equation is actually on Earth, which is cool. So going forward, Darkseid wants the anti-life equation, which is on Earth. So you think the movie's going to end where it ended last time, with Steppenwolf being defeated, with Bruce Wayne buying the bank to buy Superman, Kal-El's home back for Martha, and obviously Superman. But no, it doesn't end there. There's so much more after this. So I guess what you guys really want to know is the Knightmare stuff right at the end of the movie. Okay, let's get into it. But before we get into it, yes, Martian Manhunter is in this movie. And what is interesting is in the TV spot, sorry, in the trailer 2, you actually see a scene of Martha. It isn't Martian Manhunter. It's actually Martian Manhunter. So yeah, he's pretending to be Martha to talk to Lois, to get Lois, to motivate Lois to come back, because obviously she's key to everything. She is key to Superman not going crazy and taking over the world in a nightmare scene. So let's go over this nightmare scene, because that's probably the reason why you guys want to watch this video. So let's talk about what happens right at the very end. So the Nightmare trailer that we've all seen. You know the scene where Joker is talking to Batman. Well, that is in the movie, but it plays out differently. So this is a nightmare scene where Darkseid's taken over the world, where the parademons are all over the world. So who's in this scene exactly? Mira. And Mira has a British accent for some reason. Now, I know some people are going to make out this is such a bad thing, but realistically, it didn't bother me at all. We also have Cyborg. We also have Barry Allen the Flash, which is interesting because Barry Allen the Flash in this scene was actually green screened in from the Fantastic Beasts 3 set via a Zoom call, which is pretty cool. It looks so freaking cool. So it's Mira, Cyborg, Batman, the Flash, Deathstroke, Joe Manganiello, Deathstroke, which is actually very interesting because there's a scene before this where Lex Luthor calls Deathstroke up. Slade Wilson is like, I've got some information that can help you. Batman's name is Bruce Wayne. And then the next scene we have is Joe Manganiello, Slade Wilson, Deathstroke is actually working with Batman in this Knightmare scene. And they're talking to Joker, but it's what happens next, which is gonna be fire and is gonna cause the internet to go freaking crazy. So the Nightmare scene, that's where you game is. So Batman appears to be seen, not trying to be seen in this Nightmare timeline vision. Nightmare Batman has the same costume. The BVS, I guess you could say, Nightmare costume is on. The world has gone to shit. Batman clear. Cyborg appears. Next, beaten up badly. Cyborg, how much further? Batman voice, we're almost there. Mira limps in with Aquaman's trident because Arthur Curry's dead. Cyborg, we need to hurry up. We can't be out in the open for much longer. He'll come for us. Then we see my boy Joe Manganiello, Deathstroke, but just before this, he got the Batman name, but obviously this is a dream, essentially. Deathstroke enters looking so freaking cool. Mira, let him come. Let the bastard come. I'll stab him through the heart for what he did to Arthur. I want to make him pay. Batman, I understand how you feel, Mira. Mira, you have no idea how I feel. Batman, we need to stick to the plan to make this all right. Enters the Flash. I really like the Nightmare Flash suit, but a lot of people don't. Mira, who have you ever loved? Ha ha ha. Enters Jared Leto Joker, and this is a stellar performance. Batman knows loss from loved ones. You know, like a father, like a mother. Batman, be very, very careful. I'm paraphrasing here, guys. Okay, so don't take me for word. What you say next? Joker, like an adopted son. Oh. So throughout this movie, they've teed up the Batman series with Deathstroke, them fighting, and they've also teased up what happened to Robin and stuff like that. Isn't that right, Batman? Joker, how many dead eyes can you look into before you die? Batman, I've been dead inside for a long time, but even I have my limits. If you cross that line, I swear to God, before what, Bruce? You kill me. You won't kill me. I'm your best friend. Besides, you need me for a reach around. Kind of funny, the reach around line, if you get what he was saying. You need to make it all right. It all needs to be undone. The world you created by letting her die. Lois is dead, but this connects to the Batman versus Superman Nightmare tease massively. Batman promised a dying Harlequin to kill Joker slowly. Joker, you almost had me there. You almost had me. They're looking for somewhere to hide. Deathstroke and Batman exchange words. Cyborg, he's found us. The best Superman ever landing. The best superhero landing. He's really pissed off. He really is. They face off. Superman, red laser eyes come out instantly. Joker starts to laugh. And Bruce wakes up. Now you guys should understand the Batman versus Superman Nightmare scene. Why Lois is key. It all makes sense. So essentially, we did a video going over Justice League 2 and 3 story storyline, which will be changed now. But essentially, either if they do continuity, keep up with this story, they're going to somehow have to go back in time, or else they're never going to fix whatever's just happened. So I'm sure you know Darkseid isn't finished with Earth. No, because he's after the anti-life equation. So now we get the scene where Bruce Wayne wakes up, he goes outside, someone lands, can I help you? I'm sure you know Darkseid isn't finished with Earth. The anti-life equation is here somewhere. We have to find it before he does. There's a war coming, I'm here to help you. Bruce Wayne, I'm sorry, who are you? I've gone by many names. Bruce, we can definitely use your help. Like, I'm paraphrasing here, guys. Martian Manhunter says, I never thought I'd see Earth defenders fighting together. Your parents would be proud. And then he's like, some people call me Martian Manhunter. I'll be in touch. And then Bruce is like, good seeing you. Now, what's interesting is this scene is partially in the trailer, the final trailer, which is interesting. I don't know how they did it. So Superman has gone evil, just like the Knightmare scene would. Like I said, all of Zack Snyder's movies in this 5-part trilogy, Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, Justice League 1, Justice League 2, Justice League 3, it all connects. It massively connects. And if you go back and rewatch Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman after watching this movie, which I haven't done, it will make much more sense. So Jared Leto's Joker as performance is freaking stellar. Personally, I want Jared Leto to get his own movie after seeing him portray this nightmare Joker where he's absolutely busting Batman's balls, and it's so cool. And it's kind of funny what he's saying in a way, because he's right, but then Batman's right that Harley does want Bruce Wayne, Batman, to kill Joker, so it is freaking insane. Ben Affleck's performance in this movie is freaking insane. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. What about Supes? Superman we're on about. Yeah, okay. Superman isn't in this movie very much, but when he is in it, stellar performances. That frost breath. He takes Steppenwolf out. That ending scene is so cool with the fight. It's just so cool. Steppenwolf gets taken out, and then Wonder Woman chops the head off after Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, has stabbed him through the heart, and then the head goes smashing to Darkseid. Darkseid stamps on his head, and the seed is like, I knew he would fail. And then Darkseid's like, I won the anti-life equation. We've got to do it all way. Let's go to the Armada. And that's a setup for Justice League 2, essentially. It really is. That is a setup. So if fans want this next movie, you really are going to have to get behind the restore the Snyderverse, because there's so much greatness happening here. It is cool. The Sid was actually in the movie more than Darkseid. I was a bit disappointed in Darkseid not being in it a bit more, but not really at the same time, because from a story standalone point of view, it makes sense that Darkseid was only in it when he was needed. But Darkseid was in it properly. It was never this teasing Darkseid like everyone thought in the original 2017 movie. Darkseid was always going to be in. This was the original movie that Zack wanted to do, or at least the one he was allowed to do, so to speak. So Granny Goodness just stood there. She could have done something, but she didn't. I think it was cool that Steppenwolf kept talking to the Sid, and then eventually Darkseid came through as soon as he heard about the anti-life equation, because that is what he wants. He wants true universal power. He doesn't just want power of Earth. He wants to control the whole of the universe. And going forward, so much could happen. There's so many teasers. Lex Luthor telling Deathstroke who Batman is. Interesting, because as we know, there is supposed to be a Batman TV series coming, but that's going to happen before the Justice League movie. So they've got a massive history, and you'll find out, if we ever get that, why Deathstroke hates Batman. So it will be very interesting if we do get that. Obviously, the Joker stuff, Joker killed Robin, and that's why, the kind of adopted son storyline was in the Knightmare scene. It's going to be so freaking cool. Now, I guess what you could say is people's criticism for this movie will probably be the movie was too long, but like I said, guys, I want more. As soon as I see the Knightmare scene, it's like, come on, give us the Nightmare. Release the Nightmare scene. But obviously, they don't have the Nightmare scene because the whole kind of Snyderverse is, at the moment, according to Warner Bros, is kind of discontinued, but it's not really up to Warner Bros anymore, because AT&T own the whole company. Warner Media control Warner Bros. So Jason Keeler is our best hope at getting everything to come back. But guys, it's so freaking cool. I really love this movie. I think it is one of the greatest comic book movies ever. I've watched it twice. I'm not trying to oversell you this, guys, because I've watched it twice, so I don't actually need to make this video, but I wanted to make this video because I've been covering this stuff for 3 years, so we've got to cover it. So I'm sorry if some people thought I shouldn't have gone straight into a spoiler video, but guys, I'm not really into this non-spoiler kind of lifestyle. So what is cool is in the first scene where we see Ezra Miller, the Flash, use his power, his shoes come off and the ground breaks when he runs on it because he's moving so fast. He really is. But what's interesting, if you see what he does with Iris West, he isn't touching her, he's guiding her to safety, which is interesting because it's a very different complex story to what we get on the Flash TV show, but obviously budgeting and stuff like that. But it is interesting how he cannot control his powers at the start of the movie to the point where his shoes crushed. His shoes just come off because they're burnt. It's just so freaking awesome. And I really love how this puts everything together. The scene at the start of the movie is pretty cool. The ring from the Green Lantern that dies in this movie. The ring goes somewhere. And yeah, so this is rumor mill. Rumor mill apparently was supposed to be a Green Lantern in this movie properly, but for some reason it wasn't allowed. Allegedly, I don't know how true this is. This is just allegedly. This is like rumor mill's territory. But there's a scene in the movie where you see the ring, one of the Green Lantern dies, and then you see the Green Lantern ring disappear somewhere, goes to somewhere, obviously goes to the next Green Lantern, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I really did love this, like the way it was shot. Batman, they all look like they want to be there. It wasn't like, you know, the reshooted version where the "tell me do you bleed" scene, you know, where Batman's on the floor. I mean, as funny as it was, it turned into a rolling meme. There's nothing in this movie that memes it, and you get so much history lesson. When Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, she goes to the Arrow, she goes under the temple, it tells her the ancient story about the mother boxes, about Darkseid, about the ancient war. She knows everything, and it's just articulated and alliterated to you in such a way that anyone could watch this movie, and I'd go as far as understand the storyline. Even if you haven't watched, say, Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, you could still follow the majority of the story pretty comfortably. It's not hard. I mean, I really love the Amazonian scenes at the start of it. It's so freaking cool. How Zack Snyder made Wonder Woman even more badass than she already is. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of Wonder Woman 1. Yes, I know Zack Snyder's an EP on it and Deborah, but still, I don't like Wonder Woman 1. I think it's an awful film. But yeah, you're probably going to at me down below. But yeah, it's such a cool movie, guys. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So let me know if I missed any spoilers that you wanted to know. I went over the majority of the big moments in this movie that most people want answered. Is there a post-credit scene? No, there's not. It's a 4-hour movie. There is no post-credit scene, but it's for Autumn, for Zack Snyder's daughter, for Autumn. So hashtag for I'm in the comment section. So I really am happy with this movie. I've watched it twice in the last 24 hours of the time recording this video. That's how freaking good it is to me. But like I say, if you don't like it, that's cool. But at least watch it. There's already people like, you know, being negative online towards it that haven't watched it, and it's so cool. I just want to dress up like a parademon and say for Darkseid, or for Darkseid, or for Granny Goodness, or it's so cool how they've introduced new gods. They got there before the alleged new gods DC movies that's being made. So it's so cool that this movie didn't just introduce Darkseid, it introduced Darkseid, Granny Goodness, Martian Manhunter, and so many other little Easter eggs and stuff that we're going to go over in a different video later in the week. For example, the coffee shop that you see in this scene, where this is literally Zack Snyder went to that coffee shop every day whilst filming the movie. So yeah, he put that company in there, which is so cool of him because he didn't have to do that. He could have went to like Starbucks or Costa Coffee, but he put the coffee shop in there, the Snyder Cup that it's known as now. So it's so cool that he did that for a little business. There's so much going on in this movie that you probably have to watch it twice. And it is cool the way it's done in 6 chapters. Then the epilogue, chapter 7, you can take a break after. There is a break on the screen, so you can take a break. I really hope when the world opens, or at least when England opens, that somehow what Zack Snyder says is true, and I would love to go to like an IMAX in the UK and watch this in the cinema, on the big screen, on the IMAX screen. Yes, it is IMAX ratio, and yes, you do have black bars on either side, which didn't annoy me at all. But if it does annoy you, I can fully understand this. I would say this is one of the greatest comic book movies ever because of everything. The villains, Darkseid's motivation. He's a savage. His voice, the voice acting from Ray Porter, I believe it is, insane. I love Darkseid's voice. I would have loved it more had they not revealed it in the trailer, but I can see what Zack Snyder's trying to do. He's trying to portray to the world, this is not the 2017 version. This is my version. It's totally different. And yes, I understand some scenes that are in the original cut were also in this cut, but you got to understand Zack shot them scenes, and that is why they're in his cut. Overall, it's pretty cool. No awkward Russian family random scene. No random Superman versus Flash race. No random bad CGI. Yes, okay. In some parts, there was bad CGI, but you got to understand, no film is perfect at all. Majority of the CGI and VFX was very good. Steppenwolf looked incredibly good compared to how we got him last time. No awkward CGI mustache off for Henry Cavill. Superman, personally, I think he should have returned with a beard, but then again, if he was technically depowered, then how would a beard grow? Because he's not a human. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, if you want to find bits, nitpick, you can nitpick stuff. I mean, I've seen some people nitpicking Amber Heard's Mira's voice because she's sounding British. I presume Zack did that because he wanted to differentiate his version to the Aquaman version. But is it canon, guys? Is it canon? It is canon because Snyder, it's all Snyderverse. Even Wonder Woman 2, Wonder 1984, it's all canon. Shazam, Fury of God, it's all canon to the Snyderverse. It is. Snyder's saying it's not canon. He knows what he's doing, guys. So like always, check us out on Instagram at WarStew. Check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. And I will catch you in a video very soon. But guys, don't get trolled or triggered because I released a full spoiler review. I've always done things this way. I did not put any spoilers in the title or thumbnail. So I didn't spoil anything unless you clicked into it. And to be honest, guys, I didn't spoil anything till about 8 minutes in anyway. So like always, guys, check us check us out on the socials. I very much appreciate it. I will be doing another full in-depth video, but it is a 4-hour movie, guys. So in order to do an in-depth video, it's probably going to be like a 40-minute to an hour video when we do get around to doing it. So like always, guys, check us out on social, like we said before, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.